Well, hello, loves. If you're watching the video and you're wondering why I'm sat here in a strappy top, maybe looking like I've got a tan, it's because I recorded this in July and I'm being very organized with some batch recording, and this will be coming out in December. So happy December. This feels weird to say. I'm also having what you call a bad hair day today. And it has nothing to do with the fact I've been lying in the garden for an hour in the sun. Nothing at all. But, oh, but excuse me, there we go. So I want today to talk about the fear of weight gain. This was one of the I think the biggest fear I've had for most of my life. And I didn't say the only and biggest fear, because you'll see in this episode that there's actually a fear underneath the fear of weight gain. That was my biggest fear. And I was terrified, petrified of gaining weight. And if you're listening to this or if you're watching this, I'm sure you feel the same. So let's dive in, shall we? The title, as you know, 4 steps to start overcoming your fear of weight gain. It's no secret that we live in a world where the fear of being fat ranks pretty high on the things to be afraid of list, probably even higher than the fears that many of us have, such as spiders, snakes, the dark, death, disease. I know that when I was in the eating disorder, I would rather have died than gain weight. The fear of being overweight. And whenever I say the word overweight, I'm kind of quoting it. So in the blog that I've written to support this episode, I have quotations on the word overweight. So the fear of being overweight starts for most of us at a very young age. As I'm sure you know, we're taught by movies, by our parents, our peers, and through social media that if you're fat, you're unacceptable, even unlovable. That's a pretty shit message to hear as a kid, right? That message leaves an undeniable impression that follows us around into adulthood. Not surprisingly, the fear of being fat isn't only felt by those who are considered overweight. Over the years, coaching clients and from my own lived experience, I've found that even those considered to have the perfect body often have intense fear of weight gain. The fear is also experienced by those of us who've lost weight in the past. It can be difficult to release anxiety that the weight will come back on. We think that when we hit our target weight, whatever it is for us, even though that's never enough because we always push it back, usually, we think that when we hit our target weight, we'll be happy. And perhaps we are for a short period of time. But then, if you're anything like me, we're petrified of gaining the weight back again. So we're never free, even if we are at our ideal weight, right? The fear of being fat can include fear of gaining it in certain areas of the body, like the tummy, the legs, the arms, the face. Our fat phobia also extends to others, such as the fear that your child will gain weight or maybe even your partner. Regardless of how we experience the fear, it has one common result. We are forever fucking worried about weight gain. Our inner peace and sense of freedom with food becomes almost non existent. We feel constantly on guard, like there's no end in sight. Hands up if you can relate. I have an itch on my eye, 1 second. I relate, used to relate. Because of how we've been conditioned to feel about fat and weight gain, most people tend to deal with the fear using one simple, albeit completely ineffective, approach. Don't ever be fat. In other words, do whatever you can to ensure that you don't gain a pound. Diet, restrict, exercise, resist, control, obsess, rinse and repeat. Right? I'm sure you can relate. We think that if we have no or little fat, that we will no longer be afraid of it. The fear of weight gain can debilitate us. It can ruin our day, our week, and our existence, our entire existence. It's the kind of fear that can keep us on the sideline life and not fully living into the potential that we are here to live. The problem is, if you've tried this approach, which I am assuming you have, you've probably seen that it doesn't actually work. Sure, through chronic dieting, losing and gaining, binging and purging, or all or nothing eating, we might end up losing weight for periods of time. But the vast majority of us end up gaining the weight back. And through it all, the fear of fat persists. Those that are capable of sticking to restriction are living with a restrictive eating disorder. And let me tell you, that is no fun either. I've been in both camps, the chronic restriction and the diet binge cycle. Both are eating disorders, both are stopping you from living your true, most incredible life that is available to you. And the only thing is, when you are able to restrict successfully, it's seen as a superpower and it's complemented by most people in society. And that's fucked up too. So how do we get out of this cycle? The fear of weight gain, the diet binge cycle, the severe restrictive cycle. I'm not saying, by the way, that those that are in a severely restrictive eating disorder are there because of their fear of weight gain. That will contribute to it. There's a lot of stuff underneath those types of things, but this is a big one, which is why I'm talking about it. Let's get out of this endless cycle of hell, those that are in it, shall we? You ready to get out? If you want to work with fear of fat in a more effective way, here's my suggestion. Stop fighting the fear. Don't try to conquer this fear by controlling your calories and being thin. Instead, acknowledge the fear. Recognize that you did not invent this fear. It's something that was ingrained in you at a young age. It's a big fear to overcome, and you don't win by fighting the fear head on. In fact, the more you fight, the stronger your fear becomes. The more energy you give to it, the bigger it will grow. You have how many years of evidence that being afraid of fat, how has that worked for you? Does it actually work in whatever you deem as working? I didn't think so. Instead, the only way to win, if we're going to use that word, is by building and nurturing thoughts and practices that gradually make the fear of fat go away. This means that you shift your focus to things like, what are my talents and gifts, and how can I express these more? What am I passionate about, and how can I give more time to these passions? What brings me joy, and how can I experience joy more often? Who do I want to be in this world? And how can I start becoming that person today, regardless of my weight and my body size? The fear of fat has us falsely believing that our worth is dependent upon a bunch of body tissue. It has us chasing after a certain weight from a place where we don't truly value who we are right now in the body you have today. We're not valuing that because we're chasing something different. We think we'll be better when we're thinner. It's time to claim back your worthiness, my love. So I'm going to share with you now 4 steps to start overcoming the fear of weight gain. And step number 1 is understanding you were not born with the fear of weight gain. Believe it or not, it's not in your genetics and it's not naturally wired for you to be afraid of weight gain. The fear of gaining weight is not natural. It is a conditioned response learned from societal influences. You didn't personally invent this fear. From a young age, we are bombarded with messages from media, family, and peers showing you or showing us that via their behaviors, via their attitudes and their words, they're showing us that body fat equates to failure and not good enough and unattractive. They're uncomfortable when we gain weight and they applaud us when we lose weight. The fear is deeply ingrained and constantly reinforced by external sources. It's subtly communicated to us in movies, cartoons, television, shows, magazine images, and most profoundly in social media. Well-meaning parents, family, and friends, and experts often reinforce it, making it a global issue affecting both men and women. Girls as young as 4 years old will already have learned to critique their own unacceptable weight and body parts. And you don't need me to tell you how fucked up that is. As fear goes, it has tremendous staying power, the fear of weight gain. It's not your fault you have this fear. It doesn't make you vain or self-centered. It's really a fear of being unloved and rejected, and that's linked to life or death within our psyche. It's not your fault, but it is your responsibility to change this. So your action plan then is a media diet. The only diet you'll ever go on that will actually serve your soul is a media diet. Be selective about the media you consume. Avoid any content that makes you feel bad about your body and yourself. Watch what you let your mind into and watch what you let into your mind. What you consume has an effect on you from a subconscious and conscious level. Stop watching entertainment that makes you feel bad about yourself and your body. Love Island, perhaps, anyone? I've actually not seen it, but I'm very aware of what it is. So perhaps things like that are not helping. Stop comparing yourself to others on social media, focusing on pictures of people who you think you need to look like, and assuming that those people who look perfect have perfect lives. Most of social media isn't even real anyway. When I was a fitness model, I used to go to events where the models themselves didn't even look like they portrayed themselves to look on social media. So most of the time, if you're comparing yourself on social media, you're comparing yourself to a fake image where the person in the image doesn't even look like that. The second thing is positive environment. Surround yourself with body positive individuals. Spend time with these people who have a positive outlook on their body image. This is key. And follow people on social media who are your size or bigger and who are happy about it and just living their life. Self-kindness is the next one. Look at yourself in the mirror with kindness and gentleness. This will take practice, of course. Notice other people with your body type who are enjoying life. Remind yourself that your body is not a competition. Let go of the jealousy and the envy. Bless those who seem to have the body you want. You have no idea what is going on for them. They may naturally look like that, or they may be struggling with food in their body too. Focus on enjoyment. Engage in activities that make you feel alive and content regardless of your size. Move and play in ways that make you feel alive at any size. Reclaim your dignity by withdrawing your attention from anything that causes you to judge your own beauty and self-worth, and refocusing it on things that really matter and support your overall mental and physical health. This is the first step to getting on the road to freedom from the fear and the anxiety of gaining weight. Step number 2 is recognizing the psychological stress response. The fear of weight gain triggers a chronic stress response in the body, keeping your body in a state of red alert. When we're afraid to gain weight, we're in a constant state of red alert. This fear puts both body and mind into what is called let's see if I can say the word, psychologic, or maybe is it physiologic? I've written this, whatever the word is, physiologic stress response. It basically puts you in a stress response. The purpose of fear is to help us survive a threat, right? Fear is helpful some of the time. We're designed to go into the fight, flight, or freeze response whenever we're truly in danger. The problem is, not all fears are real. Not all fears are dangerous to our actual lives. Many fears, such as the fear of weight gain, are imaginary and they can be debilitating. When we have an imaginary fear, we tend to look for evidence for that fear coming into our reality because we attract what we believe. So when it comes to the fear of weight gain, have you noticed yourself frequently resisting it and fighting this reality? consistently weighing yourself to see if your fear has been realized, body checking in the mirror, looking for body fat, seeing your appetite and cravings as the gateway to dreaded weight gain, putting yourself in a state of chronic dieting and restriction and deprivation, fighting food, fighting your natural inborn need to eat and to nourish yourself, making your fear into a real and constant threat. If so, my love, you are not alone. The fear of weight gain has a false life or death quality to it. The fear of gaining weight can take us to our worst case scenario. We blow it way out of proportion, imagining that we'll keep gaining weight forever and ever, we'll never stop eating until we explode, or something equally dramatic. I know, I've been there. I literally thought that if I gained weight, I would look absolutely nothing like myself and my body would be unrecognizable. That didn't actually happen. Sure, my body got bigger, but it was the same shape, just a bigger version of it. I didn't actually turn into a monster at all. And if you haven't noticed yet, this intense fear of weight gain can easily keep you from living your best life. It's debilitating and constantly nagging at us. We believe that unwanted weight gain will surely make us live miserably forever. Hands up who currently has that limiting belief that if I gain weight, I'll never be able to be happy. I had that too. It's not true, my love. You absolutely can be happy and gain weight. I promise you. I know it's a big thing for me to ask you to lean into, but just be open to the fact that you're wrong about your belief that you can never be happy if you gain weight. So what I would like you to do is a weight witnessing exercise. I want you to notice the fear, the first thing. Acknowledge when the fear arises and where you feel it in your body. Acknowledge to yourself, okay, right now, my fear of gaining weight is fucking with me big time in this moment. Then rationalize the threat. Ask yourself if the fear is life-threatening. Often it is not, it just feels like it is. Your desire to lose weight is not preference. Your desire to lose weight is only a preference, not a life or death event. Your existence does not depend on how much you weigh, even though I know it feels like it does currently, perhaps for some of you listening. And then calm down. Calm, practice deep breaths, letting go of the tension in your body first, and then you're able to draw on your mindset and to talk yourself down from this panic. Allow yourself to calm down, relax, and to practice letting go of this fear that feels true but's not actually real. Close your eyes, and before you open them, imagine that when you do open them, you're going to be looking at yourself, maybe for the first time, through the eyes of unconditional love and acceptance, because true love is without judgment. So open your eyes and see yourself through the eyes of unconditional love. Keep practicing this. This exercise will help you shift your mindset and your nervous system and engage in a mature and wise inner dialogue instead of a freaked out, panicking, future tripping, anxiety dialogue. Give yourself a break with the impossible responsibility you put on yourself to lose weight. Recognize that a number on the scale won't guarantee you happiness. Step 3 is understanding how fear provokes weight gain. Now, hear me out on this. One of the best kept secrets, or maybe not such a secret anymore, but it definitely has been all my life, is that the obesity medicine and weight universe, this is the secret. Over 98% of people who lose weight on a weight loss diet gain it back and more within a year. So if you were given a choice to embark on a very challenging journey, which would go against your nature and your biology in an attempt to get something that you think will make you happy, but you were told you will have a 98% chance of failing, would you do it? Funny how most of us spend our entire lives doing just that and then blame ourselves. Right? It's not funny, but it's ironic and ridiculous at the same time. Fear-induced stress leads to the secretion of hormones like insulin and cortisol, which actually promote fat storage. This creates a vicious cycle where the fear of weight gain actually contributes to weight gain, the very thing that you are fearing the most. Over 98% of people who lose weight on a diet gain it back again within a year. This makes perfect sense why so many are afraid of gaining weight. It's hard to lose it and easy to gain it back. Additionally, the stress response causes excess inflammation within the body, decreased digestive capacity, impaired mitochondrial function, sleep disturbance, and appetite dysregulation. These things can also encourage the body to store fat and to gain weight. So you're actually inviting weight gain by fearing it. When we're constantly worried about our weight, when we get stressed, right? And guess what one of our favorite stress relievers is? Food, eating. In other words, a lot of people cope with their anxiety about gaining weight by emotionally eating. Now, I want to make it very clear there's nothing wrong with emotional eating, of course, but can you see the conundrum here? It's clear that the fear of weight gain doesn't help us find our natural set point weight at all. So here's what to do. Do a stress inventory. So I would like you to identify your stresses in your life in general. Write down all sources of stress in your life, including people, places, experiences, activities, thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that cause you stress. Then evaluate your control of these things. Determine which stresses you can change or reduce. And notice which of these stresses are actually self-chosen. And then reduce stress. Focus on decreasing your overall stress burden to improve your chances of finding and being at your natural set point weight. But most importantly, to improve your mental health and your sanity. Consider taking time to consciously appreciate your body. I know this is hard. We need to start with neutrality. We need to start with giving up fighting what is, and then we arrive at some kind of acceptance. Make a list of all the ways you're grateful for your body. How has your body faithfully served you? How has it kept you alive since the moment you were born? Gratitude for your body is a powerful antidote for self-criticism. It's time to create a whole new inner dialogue focused on more than just fear of fat and judgment about your weight. Welcome your body into your life and your life into your body. Because at the end of the day, the body you have right now is the only body you have. Makes sense, right? The body you are currently in this moment, when listening to this episode, is the body you have right now. Do you want to spend today resisting, fighting, wishing it was different? Or do you want to live your life in the body, in your real body that you have right now? It's one day at a time. Now we're going to move on to step 4, and that is addressing this is the biggest one, by the way. Step 4 is addressing the fear underneath the fear of weight gain. I have mentioned it briefly in this episode so far. Behind the fear of weight gain lies an even deeper and scarier fear. The fear that we won't be loved. That's where it's at. Being loved is fundamental to being human. It's the core desire that is built into our DNA, our cells, and our souls. Above all else, we need love. We want it, we hunger for it, pun intended. We dream for love. Sure, we can technically survive without love as an adult, but we can't as children. There's been studies done, like really sad, fucked up studies, if you ask me, that children have not been purposely given love. They've been given like physical care, like fed, watered, nappy changed, but they've not been given love, and they all died. So although we can survive without love as an adult, as children we can't. But deep down, we know life is much better when we have it. Love is the point, if you ask me, right? However, when we start equating our weight with our worth and lovability, as society often teaches us, that's when we run into trouble. Many of us have adopted the belief that if we weigh too much, we won't be loved. Thinness is an innate human need. No, it's not. Wait, rewind, press play, let me do it again. Thinness is not an innate human need. Love and acceptance is. The problem is, we think we will acquire love and acceptance via thinness, which isn't true. It might be true on the surface level. We might get more validation for being thin, but true love and acceptance, nothing to do with body size for people that matter, right? The toxic, unfortunate belief belief patterns that we have prevents us from experiencing the thing we want the most, love. Instead of focusing on the things that invite love into our lives, we become fixated on weight, on body fat, and the imaginary fear of weight gain. We feel terrified about whether we'll be accepted just as we are. So we try to become who we think others want us to be. I've worked with so many clients, friends, and loved ones over the years who refused to date until they lost weight. Many spent a decade or more alone and unhappy, convinced they are unworthy of love unless they lost weight. Remember, we attract what we believe about ourselves. But look around you. Really, take a look around you. People of all shapes and sizes have love in their lives. They have husbands, wives, partners, children, and grandchildren. They have great sex. They have fun. They hold hands, they stand by each other, they're committed to each other. So I would love for you to do a priority practice, right? So I would like you to clarify your priorities. So write down what truly matters to you, such as love, intimacy, meaningful work, personal fulfillment, helping people, whatever it may be. Be honest with yourself and write these things down. Write down the things that you want to be and want to have and want to experience from the deepest place within you. Then I would like you to focus on the essentials, meaning prioritize these deeper desires over superficial concerns about weight. What would truly make life worth living for you? Because it's not thinness, it's what you think thinness will bring and give you. Focus on what truly matters to you and go after those things in the body you have now. So you can hide yourself and avoid love and intimacy and avoid being you and avoid living your best life until you've lost weight. And then you could die tomorrow. You could get hit by a bus or whatever it is, hopefully not. Or you could practice embracing the body you have today and go after the life you want in the body you have now, and stop wasting your time and energy losing weight or thinking about weight loss or whatever it may be. And then what are your values? I would like you to list your top 5 values in life and take a good look at them. If you dug deep enough, you might be surprised that being thin isn't on one of those core deep values and of what really matters to you. By prioritizing what's important to you, you'll naturally downsize the fear of weight gain, because we are where our attention is. If we're focusing every day, all day, about how fat we are, how much we hate our thighs, how we can't wear this, how she's thinner than us, how we feel self-conscious, we're just going to attract more of that into our lives. Prioritize the shit out of your beliefs and values and really get clear on what is truly important to you. When you die, let's say you're over 100 years old and you've lived an incredible life, what do you want people to say at your funeral? Well, this person was very dedicated and she always said no to the things she wanted and she stayed a size 8 her entire life and she was obsessed with the gym and she put the gym before family and it was, really nice to see that. I mean, that's bollocks. I'm making it up. But really think about your life. Allow yourself to think about death. We don't really talk about death. Many of us have a fear of it. Some of us don't. I don't. I've done a lot of work on that. I used to cry myself to sleep when I was younger, being petrified of dying. Maybe it had something to do with my grandma kept saying to me, "Are you coming with me when I go? Are you coming with me when I go? When I die, when I go up there?" And freaking me the fuck out when I was a child, which wasn't okay. But either way, allow yourself to just think about death, because we are going to die at some point. How do you want to live? Being afraid of weight gain, or actually fucking living your life and showing yourself and your loved ones that actually I am worthy regardless of my weight, and so are you. So I would like you to practice embracing a positive relationship with your body. The relationship you have with your body is one of the most important relationships that you will ever have in your life. There's only one that tops that, in my opinion, and that is the relationship you have with yourself, because you are not your body, right? Think about that. Relationship with yourself, number one. Relationship with your body, number two. Relationship with other people externally, number three. To truly overcome the fear of weight gain, shift your focus to appreciating your body for its capabilities and contributions. Practice gratitude for your body and engage in positive self-talk. As well as this, we need to be working on our past trauma, what weight gain means to us, why we're afraid of it, what it means if we feel like we won't be loved, where we learned all of this from, reparenting ourselves, inner child work. We need to be doing that work, but we can do this work and we can heal. As far as I can tell, we are all here to learn and to grow. Look at your relationship with food and body as a great teacher. If you have a fear of weight gain, you won't be able to be your best self. Your responsibility, therefore, is to grow beyond this fear. This is your work. Find the beautiful diamond within you and focus on what truly matters to you most. Because if you get honest with yourself, it's not thinness. It's what you think that will bring you, and you can go after that now. So stop placing impossible conditions on your body. Stop bullying it, stop starving it, stop berating it. Your birthright is a happy, nourishing relationship with food and a positive, uplifting experience of your body. And it is time to claim that birthright, my love. If you would like support to heal the underlying traumas and fears of weight gain, so you can live the rest of your life in complete food freedom and body love and self-love, reach out to me. I can guide you step by step. This is the best work you will ever do for yourself. Trust me. I hope you found this episode helpful. If you did, please share it with a friend, someone who might need to hear this. Share it on social media, tag me. I can reshare and celebrate that you've listened and can reach more people. Rate me 5 stars, leave a thumbs up and all that jazz. And if you have any questions for the pod, let me know and I'll be happy to respond with a podcast episode. All right, my loves, thank you so much for being here. Again, hello to future you and future Victoria, because as I'm recording this, like I said, it's July and I've had to turn the fan on halfway through this episode because it's so goddamn hot. My upper lip is like sweating. So there you go. Sending some sunshine and some warmth into the December months when this is going to be released. So all the love to you, and I'll see you on the next one. Mwah.